All right, everyone, if you could take your seats, we can get started. Today's lecture will continue with the ongoing series entitled Practical Science, and we'll deal with astronomy. Let's begin with a few concepts that we already know something about. Supernova, the violent explosive deaths of stars at the end of their life cycles. Neptune, a large gaseous planet at the far reaches of our solar system. And quarks, fundamental particles that are the building blocks of matter in the universe. Very good. These concepts will be used today to illustrate some of the things that we take for granted in our everyday lives. Okay, this is Gerald. Gerald starts his day with several activities. This activity will cause him to be late for work, again, for the third time this month. He is not thinking about supernova, Neptune, or quarks. He will, however, think of nothing but these things by the end of the day. Okay, very good. Now we have Simone, who is getting ready for work as well. She is not thinking about supernova, Neptune, or quarks. She will be introduced to these concepts, but will not dwell on them like Gerald will by the end of the day. This is Milton. He is an astronomer, and at various times of the day will think about supernova, Neptune, and quarks. Though this is the only day where he will think of these things all in the same day. Milton gets ready for work in the university where he teaches by sneaking into the faculty bathroom. He is concerned that some students will see this and think that he must stay here all the time, which does in fact happen often. Yes, very good. Here we see Gerald at work. He's not yet thinking about supernova, Neptune, or quarks. Instead, he is thinking about how nice it would be to see that girl again that he met at the bar last week. Very good. Simone is at work and is not thinking about supernova, Neptune, or quarks. She is thinking how she can't wait to leave work and go to the bar with friends. Very nice, very nice. However, she is fearful that she might meet that strange, bearded, bald man again. Simone's day will end with her thinking about how last names look on checks. We will get to that soon enough. Very good. Milton is concluding his day by explaining to his colleagues some of the work and ideas that he thought about today. He explains about supernova. He explains his thoughts about Neptune and quarks. Even though not impressive to his co-workers, Milton will be thinking about supernova, Neptune, and quarks on his way to the bar today after work. Here we see Gerald on his way to the bar. Just before entering, Gerald has a painful childhood flashback. At the age of 5, Gerald was once chastised and chased by a drunk in an alley. Note how the drunk takes on the appearance that most Americans associate with terrorists. Unshaven face, strange hat, and surly demeanor. This is due to the fact that Gerald observed that the national threat level was at an elevated step today. This has caused Gerald to incorporate the national threat status and this painful childhood memory into one coherent image. However, Gerald soon realizes that this man from his past must surely be deceased now due to either old age or lifestyle choices. With renewed vigor, Gerald enters the bar. Very good. Once inside the bar, Gerald finds his favorite place to sit and observes two young women nearby. Gerald attempts to attract their attention by displaying his openness to companionship. He is rejected by the first female. He attempts again with the second, which results in another rejection and ultimately defeat for Gerald. It is at this time that Gerald notices Milton sitting at a table across from him. Seeing Milton's attire and overall appearance renews Gerald's faith that his chances with the opposite sex will be good tonight. Simone arrives at the bar, hopeful that her friends will be there waiting for her. Upon entering, Gerald notices her. Within the next few seconds, Gerald builds their entire life together in his mind. They date for a short time, they get married in a church in Ireland, live on the California coast, and then die together on the same day and are buried in the same grave. This type of romantic fallacy pleases Gerald. Simone now notices that the strange bearded man is here and staring at her again as he did the previous week. She then scans the bar and looks for any way out of this situation. She finds it. Very good. Gerald notices as well as Simone sets her sights on Milton. Gerald's fantasy unravels as he accepts the fact that he will live the rest of his days single and be buried in an unmarked grave alone. Milton notices Simone coming toward him. This is not something that happens very often to Milton. He reacts accordingly. Simone is intrigued. Milton then begins to promptly explain some of the things that excite him, such as supernova, Neptune, and quarks. During this time, Simone begins to construct her life with Milton in her head. They date for a short time, they get married in a church in Ireland, live on the California coast, and then die together on the same day and are buried in the same grave. This type of romantic fallacy pleases Simone. The continuing discussion and apparent pleasure by Simone does not please Gerald. Over the next few seconds, he constructs several ways in which Milton might perish, including, but not limited to, airplane disaster, traffic accident, and attack by a lion. Very good. Back at Milton's table, Simone asks Milton what his full name is. He tells her and sets into motion a train of events that will have Simone wondering what her new full name will look like on everyday items such as checks. She doesn't know if she can be known as Simone Farsbender for the rest of her life. With that, Simone promptly leaves the bar. However, later that night, Simone will go to another bar and meet this man, who will eventually become her husband. Gerald is confused by the sudden departure of Simone, but becomes pleased with the turn of events. He then decides that he will console Milton, not out of sympathy for his plight, but to learn of the mistakes that Milton might have made so that he himself will not make them in the future. It is here that Milton introduces him to supernova, Neptune, and quarks. This new information begins the birth of questions within Gerald's mind about his own place within the universe. Milton decides to leave and return to his lab where he will think about supernova, Neptune, and quarks. He will not think of Simone again for the rest of his life. Gerald also leaves the bar and allows his mind to play with the new ideas that he has just been introduced to. It is a surprise for Gerald to realize that beyond our solar system there are violent explosions taking place that signal the end of stars much more powerful than our own, and that within our own solar system large balls of gas and ice exist within our own backyard. And all of it is composed of tiny particles that defy our own definitions of observable medium. All of this pales to Gerald's fears of being late for work, alone in the universe, and menaced by imaginary drunks who look like terrorists. Gerald now believes that his own ignorance to the universe in which he lives may be the sole contributor to his unhappiness. However, Gerald would be wrong to assume this, as we will cover the sole entity responsible for Gerald's mishaps and place in life in the next lecture in this series entitled Genetics. Very good. Thank you, everyone. Remember the quiz next week, and see you again next class.